Hi guys, welcome to a video that is a very focused video on 22q. So this is for people that may have it, this is for people who may know someone who has it, this is for people that want to learn about it. So I have 22q11.2 Deletion Syndrome. The old name was DeGeorge, but that was before genetics came along. So some of the DeGeorge patients that haven't been genetically tested might not even have 22q11.2 deletion syndrome. They may have another syndrome, they may have other things, but now with the new modern era here, we have DNA, and genetic testing is useful scientifically, and it is 99.98% accurate. Pretty good, right? So anyway, I'm going to read you some facts on 22q because I want, if you can, to spread this. 22q is more prevalent than Down syndrome. We are not heard. We are not seen. The research is not being spent on us. Doctors don't know of it. They haven't had the time to learn about this. It's so unknown by so many people. They may know the DeGeorge old stuff, which was such a small amount of information. It has massively expanded for quite a while, but Australia's a bit slow. But anyway, so let's have a look here. So the correct terminology for 22q is DeGeorge syndrome is old. You shouldn't use it for reasons particularly of research. If you research using the name DeGeorge, you will get old, outdated research. It is important for clinical findings to look for 22q11.2 deletion syndrome. That will direct you to the right scientific medical journals to answer any questions you may have. Let me just find the bits that, because some of this is just my personal information for my documentation that's added in here too. So, summary explanation of 22q. Now, a diagnosis, my diagnosis is central 22, oh actually, laboratory DNA. It is, there's a lot of numbers here. ARR, and in brackets, GRCH38, end bracket. 22q11.221. In brackets, 207212988 underscore 211073118, end bracket, times 1. Does not contain a critical gene called TBX1 associated with the loss of CRKL gene. So there's a few other problems there. That should get further investigation, but in Australia, genetics, they don't give it out to public patients easily, sadly. Like the rest of the medical system. Trying to get hold of an MRI in Australia, good luck. And you'll probably get some old machine, you know. Anyway, summary explanation of 22q. 22q is a chromosomal disorder which affects 1 3 to 6,000 of the population. That results in poor development of several bodily systems. So basically it affects several bodily systems. It is not a condition where one part of the body is affected. It is the result of a submicroscopic deletion on the long arm of the chromosome 22. In the Q11 region, deletion 22q11, and missing approximately 3 million DNA building blocks, which means 30 to 40 genes are missing. The syndrome can affect any system of the body, is associated with up to 185 different clinical symptoms. However, most people with 22q have heart defects, poor immune system function, a cleft palate, and low levels of calcium in the blood, learning, speech, and/or behavioural difficulties. I have autism, ADHD, OCD, Tourette's. Yes, I have a lot of speech problems as well. I have a very high palate, which makes eating for me difficult, which means it makes my digestion difficult because my GI tract doesn't function, my immune system doesn't function, my heart, my brain, all having problems. Because I'm 50, and when we get to the bit where it explains life expectancy, I'll talk more about that. So, clinical allowances for 22q11.2 deletion syndrome. So, 22q ranges from mild to severe. Well, mine, sadly, is not mild due to my lengthy list of diagnoses, my lengthy list of allergies, and the fact that I've suffered my whole life with medical problems. And as you've seen how severe they have got, you see it. So it's variable. So 22q11.2 deletion syndrome shows a variable clinical phenotype that can range from mild to severe. So everybody's different. Not everyone's the same. That's why if you meet someone with 22q and then you meet another person with 22q, you need to be open-minded because we're all different. So, medical professionals are often unaware of 22q. This is absolutely true. They might know of DeGeorge, but that's outdated. The research is so old that it's actually detrimental to use, to be quite honest, is what I'm noticing. So, rare syndromes, there's so many of them, they don't have the learning on it. The adult population with 22q is increasing, but healthcare professionals are often unaware of this genetic condition. It's genetic, if that wasn't covered. Communication and cognition issues in 22q affecting medical management. This is a big one. Deficits in receptive language and comprehension may be camouflaged by relatively good verbal skills, despite speech deficits. Notice my speech struggles. However, I've got intelligence, and it can camouflage the fact that my mental age is 18 to 21. I've got 3 learning disabilities, intellectual disability, developmental delays. Yeah, don't judge a book by its cover. I can look good and I can sound good, but it just ain't the case. Speak to my neuropsych. She'll back you up on that. I'm Dory. My short-term memory is shocking. Long-term memory, vivid. I can visualize it like a movie. I have a absolute amazing memory of great detail. But short-term, no good. So, coupled with a tendency to downplay, hide, and/or deny existing problems. I did that in my 20s. I did. As well as difficulty engaging during a first meeting, medical history, taking may be challenging. Absolutely. I had no idea how to navigate the medical system because it's so, in Australia, manipulative, because they don't want to spend money on you. They want to get you in and out the door. They book up patients, you know, from this time to this time, and you're lucky if you get 5 or 10 minutes. That's how it's been most of my life with GPs. Not with my current GP. There's extra time that's now been given, but in the time that mattered so that I could have got diagnosed sooner, I didn't have that luxury. So there was no listening going on because there was no time given. You know, 5 to 15 minutes does not cut it. So also I can't explain things, as it says here. That is true. This is, and I still struggle. I still can't do it. So patients, along with collateral information from caregivers who know the patient well, can ameliorate these issues. Apologies, maybe you can guess that word. I'll leave that to you. But basically, we are meant to have guardians from 18 years of age because we are vulnerable people. We have difficulties enough to be needing caregivers, okay? No matter how capable we come across, it's just, you're misjudging. Disability is constantly like that. There are so many disabilities that are misjudged, and mine is one of them. I am not a typical 50-year-old in any capability. If you gave me testing on different capabilities, I would not be the same. So where was I up to? However, more time and more investigations that are necessary for the average patient are often required. Now, that would be due to autism, interoception problems. We don't know what's hurting. We have a high pain threshold. We don't often report how bad the pain is. And of course, what does pain tell a doctor, or should tell a doctor? Where there's pain, there's a problem. That's why the body gives you pain signals. It's pretty obvious. So, similarly, the cognitive capability of patients, the 22q11.2 DS, to describe or to understand the various medical conditions they have and the need for treatment for these conditions may be suboptimal, especially in the presence of intellectual disability. That's true. I struggle to understand why I need this and why I need that, and I try and get out of it, and I try and bug, and no, I don't want to do that, and how about we just do this? So that is definitely a struggle because I don't understand why they need to do things, because it is me to make the decision too, but it's hard to make decisions when you're not understanding things. Does that make sense? So it is hard. Standard measures to improve compliance with recommended management can include clear and careful explanations to patient, together with caregivers, about their condition and treatments. Providing simple written instructions and monitoring medication intake are often helpful. So my neuropsych, I can't take my medicines because I don't understand how to do it. Simple as that. It's not safe. And even though you say, oh, well, you've been to university, you cannot have an intellectual disability. I do. I have 3 learning disabilities, intellectual delays, developmental delays. It is my hard work and perseverance, working harder than other people to achieve what I achieved. that is not a typical thing that a 22Qer can achieve. Now, that's not to say that they can't. It's, to be quite honest, in not knowing I had this for that period of time, meant that I had to try and keep up with the normies. So I do think that there is hope there, that if you encourage a 22Q person, that they can achieve more than you can imagine if they want to. It is totally a choice on what, just like normal people, of what they want to achieve. But it is not undoable. And I want anyone with 22Q to know that. Outcomes in older adults for 22Q, which is me being 50. Information about long-term outcomes and older age ranges in 22q11.2 DS is limited. Most reports involve individuals in their mid-30s on average. Premature mortality. Individuals with 22Q who survive childhood seem to be at increased risk of premature mortality as adults, but this mortality is not attributable to any single identifiable factor. The median age of death was 41.5 years. Life expectancy. Severe symptoms can lead to a shortened life expectancy without treatment, which is the reason I have to fight for my healthcare, is because I have severe symptoms of 22Q and I'm currently not being treated in the way that is needed to give me my best chance. 22Q remains unrecognized. Despite the prevalence, substantial morbidity, and availability of clinical testing, genetic testing is easy now, 22q11.2 DS, previously known as Deletion Syndrome or velocardiofacial syndrome, remains largely unrecognized in adults, both healthcare providers and society at large. In my state, I do not have access, and the health department is aware, to a 22Q specialist. It's disgusting. But that's what they think is acceptable, and I don't in a first world country. The reason DeGeorge needs to be separated too is DeGeorge was sometimes diagnosed based on facial features, not DNA. So, like I said, you need to be DNA tested for this to be applicable to you, because if you've been diagnosed without DNA testing, genetic testing, there could be an inaccuracy. Now, there's facial features like a long gap here, I have a high palate, microcephaly, certain ear shape up top or something. Like I have, like, the palate problem is so bad that I can get food stuck between my, back into my sinuses basically. And then food can come out my nose. So it's, can cause infections and all sorts of things. So yes, I didn't get the cleft lip. A lot of 22Qers do get that. But I got the bit where and I can get surgery to fix it, but I haven't been offered that. But I just eat very carefully, but it is difficult. It is difficult. And I notice my facial differences because I guess we always do about ourselves. I think if others actually look at me now and try and look at that, they'll see it. But yeah, I can see it clearly. Ongoing care in 22Q for adults. Adults with 22q11.2 DS require follow-up regardless of age of diagnosis. In virtually all cases, later onset conditions emerge that require clinical attention. which is where I'm at now, hence why I'm under so much medical needs because of my age. Knowledge about the high variability in number and severity of manifestations and 22q11.2 DS related risks is essential. Periodic assessments may reveal previously undetected medical conditions, enabling early treatment, and should be tailored to different life stages. The multi-system nature and developmental complexity of 22q demand broad consideration of signs and symptoms. There are so many, like I said, 185 symptoms that you can have. The main caveat, in brackets, to standard management and treatment strategies, end bracket, is that 22q related comorbidity demands attention by all clinicians regardless of their subspeciality, with balancing of risks/benefits for proposed treatments. That is due to our lifespan being so young, to be quite honest. It's transition to adult care. Consider legal guardianship, ideally before 18. So if you were younger than me, if you are a parent with a child with 22q, that's what you need to get prepared. So I would say when they turn 17, that I would start to get prepared for that. Deaths are most commonly due to cardiovascular causes. The lifetime burden of illness is substantial, with concurrence of medical conditions, multi-morbidity, comparable with that of the general population several decades older. So I'm 50, but I should be considered 80. At relatively young ages, adults with 22q have increased vulnerability to age-related diseases. At any age, selected patients and families could potentially benefit from palliative care support. So, basically, yep, that's the main bit. So, I have requested today to a person with great experience, speech, just having a speech tonight. Basically, I have asked a very experienced staff member who runs my care team, and for a good palliative care counsellor. So I'm going to start that, even though I am an optimistic person. I wake up every day grateful to wake up and grateful to live a new day, and I'm not going anywhere. You know what I mean? I've got 2 amazing, beautiful sons that I live for, and I have 2 grandsons. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not missing out. However, when you come to the realism, prepare for the worst and hope for the best. I have to prepare my will. I have to prepare my children. I have to prepare myself. And I think that doing things in a counselling situation is a chance for me to express how I feel without hurting the people around me. Because only someone who is given such a diagnosis of such a grim outcome can understand what I'm going through. Because you have to be there to truly know what it feels like and where your brain actually does go. So I'm going to do palliative care counselling. With palliative care, guys, it's if you have a life-limiting illness like this, with such a young age of the median age is 41.5, and the more recent studies are looking a little bit more grim than that, because of mainly due to the lack of research. So please donate to well, if you want to support me, there is the Association of Australia and New Zealand, the 22q Association of Australia and New Zealand. If you donate directly to them, they probably would put it to research, well, they would, and awareness, because that's what's lacking, is awareness. But it's never, it's just never too soon to plan things due to this information, and you just have to be realistic, but at the same time, the majority of the time you need to live, of course. I don't think people should focus too much on it, because there's no point. But I do recommend palliative care counselling, because I know that I've tried to be, tough it out and do it myself, but I feel like I need just an outsider to talk to about my fears, my concerns, how I want to prepare things. It's hard to imagine and know, geez, I'm leaving people behind that need me. It's not a nice feeling. It's worse for them than it is for me. And I have to make sure that they're okay. I have to fight for an adult 22q specialist for my family, because it's genetic, and also the rest of WA. And I will keep fighting for that. I will keep, if I have to go to the media to say we need a specialist in WA, this is shocking, then I will do that. So I will keep fighting for a 22q adult specialist, because in WA we don't have it, and I don't get the access to the Melbourne and Queensland one because of the Medicare laws. I don't get access to the two at the Children's Hospital because of Medicare restrictions, and they won't give me an exemption. So I have a battle, but I am a very determined person. That's why I'm alive. I am strong. And this illness, along its journey, because it's degenerative, I am stronger for it. I don't like that I have it, but I was born this way. I had no choice. I have had a good life, but sometimes I wish I could spend some quality time with my sons, because of the fact that I don't have the time promised like many other parents, and to be a grandparent. So I hope that happens. And in the meantime, every day I try and live my best life. And the simple things are my thing, that I enjoy. The simple things. Just normal daily living. It's just great to be alive. So I hope that that's given you a good indication of what I have to go through, what my condition is, why there's so much difficulties around it. Rare syndromes do not get much support from hospitals. It's disgusting. Not so much when you're a kid, but when you become an adult, it changes. That's disappointing, Australia, to be quite honest, but it's just the way it is. But yeah, if you want to donate to a good cause, the Association of Australia and New Zealand for 22q, they have a website, and yeah, feel free to donate to them, support them, put them out there on social media so that people can see them and find out what 22q is. I don't know, do a post on social media about 22q. Do you know about 22q? Or just rare syndromes in general. Like, hey, have you ever heard of rare syndromes? Do you know of anyone that has a rare syndrome? We are often forgotten by the medical establishments. And as you can imagine, with the 22q, not all syndromes have a mortality rate like this. Some of them have full lifespan. In fact, quite a lot of them do, but then also quite a lot don't. Mine doesn't. It deserves some research, because I think that research could expand our life expectancy and quality of life. And that's my hope, and that's my dream for people with 22q. So stay positive, stay focused, keep living, keep following your passions. You are worthy. I believe in you. I've got to know a lot of you in the comments, and I know you're suffering too. You've got different names of your illnesses. Suffering is suffering, and I just want you to know that I care, because I know what the suffering's like. Mine might have a different name, but I'm suffering too. So I'm sending love to you, because it is a lifestyle that many don't know. They might get the temporary type of pain and they get put into hospital and they get everything done for them. But when you are long-term sick, we don't get that. So it's hard, and it's hard on the carers, it's hard on the family, it's hard on everyone. It's hard on everyone. So I just want to say I see you, I acknowledge you, you are worthy of care and treatments and medical care, and you're worthy just because you're alive. You don't have to be proving your worth, so to speak. You know, you're worthy because you're alive and you're here and you're meant to be here. Everyone has a purpose for being here. So keep smiling, and when you have a hard day, have those hard days, but then the next day say, right, I'm gonna just try and not let things get me down. But like I said, have those bad days. Allow yourself to have that rant because you've been in pain for days and days and days or whatever. That's okay. But always tell yourself, okay, now I'm going to start to focus on other things, because sadly, what I've learned from being ill is it's always going to be there. So if you get the chance to push through and do something, even though the pain might increase, the satisfaction of doing what you did will overcome, and your mental happiness will make the pain more tolerable, I promise you. So love to you all. Suffering is suffering, but I wanted education on 22q. So yeah, I hope that helps, and I hope some 22qers all around the world, because there's not enough YouTube videos on this. I hope that you've found this, and I hope that this has been helpful or just validating. Yeah, so I'm getting tired because it's late, but I wanted to make this video in this moment because I just was feeling it, because we've been doing, or Sir's been doing paperwork, and he read this to me, and I said that needs to be in a video because other 22qers need to hear it, and people that want to know about 22q. So I hope that I've covered it. If you have any questions about 22q, comment below with the, with the question, and I will do my best to answer it. I will, if I don't know, I will find out. So take care, and I'll see you in the next video, which most likely will be probably one of my mini, those balls with the minis in it, something like that. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere. And if you're new, subscribe, and even if you've been around a long time, give me a like, share this video, and yeah, if you haven't subscribed, why not? Give me a chance. I'm a bundle of things, but I'm honest and real. Yes. So if that's your thing, then I might be the thing for you. So see you in the next video. Bye.